Look at this grease. This isn't just surface dust. This is 3 years of cooking oil, smoke residue, and handprints baked onto the wood grain of my kitchen cabinets. Most people think you need a $20 spray bottle with chemicals you can't pronounce to get this off. They're wrong. I'm going to clean these cabinets using one ingredient that costs less than $2. It's sitting in your pantry right now. And by the end of this video, you're going to see exactly why the cleaning industry doesn't want you to know about it. Let's get to work. Intro promise. Hi, I'm the washer doctor. My grandfather was a janitor, my father was a janitor. I've spent my entire life cleaning up messes that other people gave up on. I don't care about marketing hype. I care about what actually removes dirt without stripping the finish off your wood. Today, we are tackling the hardest surface in the kitchen, upper cabinets. These things collect a sticky film that water alone won't touch. If you scrub too hard, you damage the sealant. If you use harsh chemicals, you risk discoloration. I'm going to show you the exact method I use in my own home. No expensive gadgets, no proprietary blends, just one common household item mixed correctly, applied with the right technique. Stick around because I'm also going to share a pro tip at the end that prevents this grease from building up again for months. If you're tired of buying cleaners that leave streaks or smell like a chemical factory, this is the video for you. The problem. Let's talk about why your cabinets look dirty no matter how often you wipe them down. You probably use an all-purpose cleaner or a damp rag. You wipe, it looks clean for an hour, and then it looks dull again. Here's the reality. Kitchen air is full of microscopic particles of cooking oil. When you fry bacon, saute onions, or boil pasta, that oil vaporizes. It rises, it hits the bottom of your upper cabinets. Over time, that oil mixes with dust and carbon from gas stoves or burnt food. It creates a polymerized layer. Think of it like varnish, but dirty. It's sticky, it's tenacious. Water repels it. Standard dish soap cuts through fresh grease, but it struggles with this aged, hardened layer. If you try to scrub it with a rough sponge, you create micro scratches in the wood finish. Those scratches trap even more dirt next time. It's a vicious cycle. You clean harder, you damage the surface, it gets dirtier faster. Most commercial cabinet cleaners are designed to smell nice and give you a quick shine. They often contain silicones that coat the dirt rather than removing it. That's why your cabinets feel slick but still look cloudy. We need something that breaks the molecular bond of that old grease without eating into the wood stain or polyurethane coating. We need an emulsifier that's gentle on finishes but aggressive on grime. We need an alkaline power of baking soda. Now, before you click away, hear me out. I know what you're thinking. Wash, baking soda is abrasive. Won't it scratch my cabinets? This is the most common mistake people make. They use dry baking soda on a dry cloth. That's sandpaper. That will ruin your finish. But when you mix baking soda with warm water in the correct ratio, it changes. It becomes a mild alkaline solution. Grease is acidic. Baking soda is basic. When they meet, a neutralization reaction occurs. This breaks down the fatty acids in the cooked-on grease. But here's the key part that most videos miss: the texture. When dissolved properly, baking soda provides just enough friction to lift the dirt out of the wood grain pores without acting like an abrasive pad. It's soft enough to be safe on sealed wood, but effective enough to cut through polymerized oil. Compare this to vinegar. Vinegar is acidic. It's great for mineral deposits like hard water spots on your faucet, but vinegar does not cut grease well. In fact, mixing vinegar and baking soda just creates salt water and carbon dioxide bubbles. The bubbles look cool, but they don't clean anything. The cleaning power comes from the individual properties used correctly. For grease on wood, we need the alkaline power of baking soda. Also, consider cost. A box of baking soda costs about $1.50. It lasts for months. A specialized cabinet cleaner costs $6 to $8 and runs out in weeks. Plus, baking soda is non-toxic. If you have kids or pets licking surfaces, you don't have to worry about residual chemicals. It rinses clean with water. No fumes, no headaches, just chemistry working in your favor. The solution. All right, let's get into the method. Do not skip steps. The preparation is half the battle. First, Gather your supplies. You need a box of baking soda, a bucket of warm water, not hot, just warm. Hot water can sometimes soften certain wood finishes if left on too long. 2 microfiber cloths, one for washing, one for drying. Do not use paper towels. They leave lint and fall apart when wet. A soft bristled brush. An old toothbrush works perfectly for corners and handles. Step 1. Remove everything from the cabinets. I mean everything. Dishes, spices, decor. You cannot clean properly if you're working around obstacles. Plus, you'll be surprised how much grease has settled on the tops of your cereal boxes. Wipe those down too while they're out. Step 2. Mix your solution. In your bucket, add 2 tablespoons of baking soda per cup of warm water. Stir it until it dissolves mostly. It doesn't need to be perfectly clear. A little cloudiness is fine. If you see large clumps, stir more. You want a consistent mixture. Dip your first microfiber cloth into the solution and wring it out thoroughly. This is critical. Your cloth should be damp, not dripping. Excess water is the enemy of wood cabinets. It can seep into seams and cause swelling or warping over time. Step 3. Test a small area. Pick a spot on the inside of a cabinet door or a lower corner. Wipe it gently. Wait 30 seconds. Check for any discoloration. If the finish looks good, proceed. If you notice any cloudiness, dilute your mixture with more water. Every wood finish is different. Older cabinets might have worn seals. Newer ones are usually more resilient. Always test first. Step 4. The cleaning motion. Start from the bottom and work your way up. Why? Because gravity pulls dirt down. If you start at the top, dirty runoff will streak over the clean areas below. Wipe in the direction of the wood grain. Never scrub in circles. Circular motions create swirl marks that catch the light and make the wood look dull. Long, straight strokes follow the natural pattern of the wood and lift the dirt out of the grooves. For the handles and knobs, dip your soft bristled brush into the solution. Gently agitate around the base of the handle. This is where grease accumulates because hands touch it constantly. The bristles get into the crevices that the cloth misses. Wipe away the loosened grime with your damp cloth immediately. Step 5. The rinse. This step is optional but recommended for high gloss finishes. Take a second clean cloth, dampen it with plain warm water, wring it out, and wipe over the area you just cleaned. This removes any residual baking soda film. If you skip this, you might see a faint white haze once it dries. It's not damage, just residue, but rinsing ensures a crystal clear finish. Step 6. Dry immediately. Use your dry microfiber cloth to buff the surface dry. Do not let air dry. Water spots can form and lingering moisture is bad for wood. Buffing also helps restore the natural sheen of the wood. You'll notice the difference instantly. The dull, sticky film is gone. The wood looks rich and clean, not shiny and fake. Repeat this process for every cabinet. It takes time, don't rush. If you encounter a particularly stubborn spot, let the damp cloth sit on it for 60 seconds. Let the alkaline solution do the work. Then wipe. Do not scrub harder. Let the chemistry work. Pro tip. Here is the secret most people miss. Prevention is easier than cure. Once your cabinets are clean, you want to keep them that way. After you've dried them, take a tiny drop of olive oil or mineral oil on a clean, dry cloth. Rub it lightly over the exterior surfaces. This does 2 things. First, it conditions the wood, keeping it from drying out and cracking. Second, and more importantly, it creates a microscopic barrier. Grease particles from cooking will land on this oily layer instead of bonding directly to the wood finish. When you wipe your cabinets down next month, the new grease wipes right off because it hasn't had a chance to polymerize. Do not use vegetable oil. It goes rancid. Use mineral oil or olive oil, and use very little. You're not polishing a car, you're maintaining a finish. Too much oil will attract dust. A thin film is all you need. This simple step extends the time between deep cleans from 3 months to 6 months or more. So, there you have it. $2, 10 minutes of prep, and cabinets that look brand new. You don't need fancy sprays. You need to understand what you're cleaning and use the right tool for the job. Baking soda is cheap, effective, and safe. It's been used for generations because it works. If this video saved you money or helped you tackle a cleaning project you've been putting off, hit that subscribe button. I upload new videos every week breaking down practical cleaning methods that actually work, based on decades of janitorial experience. No fluff, just results. I want to hear from you in the comments. What is the biggest cleaning problem in your kitchen right now? Is it the stove, the fridge, or maybe something else entirely? Let me know and I might cover it in the next video. If you want to learn how to deep clean your gas stove burners without taking them apart, check out this video right here. It uses another pantry staple to cut through burnt-on food. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bonus: the hard-to-reach spots. Before you go, I want to address one specific complaint I get all the time. Wash, my method works on the flat doors, but the top edges of the upper cabinets are still sticky. You're right, that area is a grease trap. It's above eye level, so you don't see it until you're standing on a chair. And because it's horizontal, dust settles there and mixes with the rising cooking vapors. It creates a thick black sludge that regular wiping won't touch. Here is how you handle the tops of cabinets without taking them down. You need a flathead screwdriver and an old, thin sock. Put the sock over the head of the screwdriver. Secure it with a rubber band if you have to, but usually the friction is enough. Dip the sock-covered tip into your baking soda solution. Wring it out well. Now run that along the top edge of the cabinet. The sock acts like a mop, absorbing the grime, while the screwdriver gives you the reach and leverage to apply pressure. You'll be shocked at how much black gunk comes off. Change the sock when it gets dirty. This takes 5 minutes per cabinet run, and it makes the whole kitchen feel cleaner because you've removed the source of the falling dust. Common mistakes to avoid. Let's quickly review what not to do because I see these errors constantly. First, do not use steel wool. Ever. Even fine-grade steel wool leaves behind tiny metal particles that can rust or scratch the finish. If you have a stubborn spot, use a nylon scrub pad, the white kind, not the green abrasive kind. Green pads are for pots and pans, not for wood finishes. Second, do not mix baking soda with bleach. Some people think more chemicals equal more cleaning power. Wrong. Mixing bleach and ammonia creates toxic gas. Mixing bleach and acids creates toxic gas. While baking soda isn't an acid, mixing it with bleach neutralizes the bleach's effectiveness and creates a useless slurry. Stick to baking soda and water. It's safe, it's effective, and it won't send you to the hospital. Third, do not ignore the hardware. If you have brass or nickel handles, baking soda is safe for them too. But if you have antique bronze or oil-rubbed bronze, test first. Some aged finishes are delicate. If you notice the finish coming off on your cloth, stop immediately. For those, stick to a damp microfiber cloth with just water. It's better to have slightly less clean handles than stripped ones. Why this method lasts.
You might wonder why this clean feels different. When you use commercial sprays, they often leave behind surfactants. These are chemicals that help lift dirt, but if not rinsed perfectly, they remain on the surface. These residues are sticky. They attract new dust faster than bare wood does. That's why your cabinets look dirty again in 2 days. With the baking soda method, especially if you follow the rinse step, you are leaving behind nothing, just clean wood. When you add the optional mineral oil barrier, you're adding a non-stick layer. Dust lands on it, but it doesn't stick. You can wipe it away with a dry cloth. This is the difference between cleaning and maintaining. Cleaning removes the past mess. Maintaining prevents the future mess. Most people only clean. Janitors maintain. That's the mindset shift you need. Addressing doubts. I know some of you are skeptical. My grandmother used vinegar, or my mom used Murphy's oil soap. Let's address those. Vinegar, as I mentioned, is acidic. It's great for glass. It's great for removing soap scum in the bathroom. But on kitchen grease, it's weak. It might cut fresh splatter, but it won't touch the baked-on film. And Murphy's oil soap is fine, but it's expensive and often contains fragrances and preservatives you don't need. Baking soda is pure sodium bicarbonate. It's one ingredient. You know exactly what you're putting on your surfaces. Plus, Murphy's can leave a waxy buildup over time if you don't rinse it well. Baking soda rinses clean with water. It's simpler. Simplicity is reliability. If you have unsealed wood, raw timber that hasn't been stained or polyurethaned, be careful. Baking soda is alkaline, and raw wood can absorb moisture. For unsealed wood, use a much weaker solution, 1 teaspoon per cup of water, and dry it instantly. But let's be honest, most modern kitchen cabinets are sealed. They're designed to be wiped down. This method respects that design. The bigger picture. It isn't just about cabinets, it's about taking control of your home environment. When you rely on proprietary cleaners, you're dependent on a company's formula. When you understand the basics, acid for minerals, base for grease, friction for stuck-on debris, you become self-sufficient. You can clean anything. Bathroom tiles? Baking soda paste. Oven glass? Baking soda paste. Sink stains? Baking soda paste. 1 box? 50 uses. This is the old way, not because it's nostalgic, but because it's efficient. Our grandparents didn't have aisles of colorful bottles. They had staples. They knew how to use them. We've lost that knowledge because it's not profitable for corporations. They want you to buy a new bottle for every surface. I'm here to tell you that you don't need to. You need skill, not stuff. Final thoughts. So, next time you look at those sticky cabinets, don't sigh. Don't reach for the expensive spray. Reach for the box in the back of your pantry. Mix it up. Put in the elbow grease. Enjoy the process. There is something satisfying about seeing the dirt lift away and revealing the true color of the wood underneath. It's honest work. It's real results. Try it this weekend. Take before and after photos. I'd love to see them. Tag me on social media or describe your results in the comments. Did it work better than you expected? Did you find a spot you didn't know was dirty? Share that experience. It helps others realize they can do it too. Wrap up. Remember, cleaning isn't a chore. It's maintenance. It's care. It's respecting the space you live in. When your space is clean, your mind is clearer. It's a small thing, but it matters. I'm Wash Leb. Keep it clean, keep it simple, and keep it real. Subscribe for more practical tips from a third-generation janitor who's seen it all. Check out the video on screen now about gas stove burners. It's the perfect companion to this cabinet cleaning session. Thanks for watching.